Hi, welcome back to PixelHate. My name is Adam, and I'm back. Today I'm joined by only Wope and Micah. Chris and Jamal are off taking care of life things, and that's just the way of the world. But we have
Not
a
a
show
gamer.
they're not gamers. We have a show to produce, so we're going to do that. Starting with good game, bad game. Good game, bad game.
Okay, so for my bad game, it's actually something that I haven't played. I have missed to this point the entire Street Fighter 6 beta that I really was looking forward to playing, but the way it is impossible for me to pry my hands off of this device since last Friday, like I just don't know what to tell you. I'm
I
not
feel
sure how
you.
many days or how sorry, this is the last day. I'm not sure how many hours are left. I don't know if it's like a 12 a.m., thing, but if there is some time, I'm hoping that I can get at least a couple games in a Street Fighter before I cop it next month.
Is the open beta, can you play online in the open beta?
I want to say yes. Like I think they gave you 8 characters. Um, the classics. It's Ryu, Chun Li, Ken, Dawson. I want to say, and
Huh.
then Jury, Luke, who's the new guy, Kimberly, who's also a new guy, and Guile. So it's a good little selection, a lot of different play styles. I was just hoping I could get my hands on it before launch, but I'm not sure if I'll get the time.
Okay. Bad game?
That is my bad game. My good game, of course,
Oh,
is still Tears of the Kingdom. It's still taking over every possible hour that it can. Love it. No issues here.
Micah, what you got?
Um, Good game for the week. I've gotten back into Dragon Ball Heroes, the card game on Switch. So I've been playing that when I don't feel like playing like a big open world game like Tears of the Kingdom. Just something casual right before bed at like 2 a.m. So that game has been holding me over more so this week. Bad game. I I got Civilization 6 on Switch for like $2 or something like that. I went to try it because I was looking for an RTS specifically, but I couldn't find one under like $40 on Switch. And Civ was like the only game that seemed like a city building kind of game, but I didn't realize it was like a turn-based city building game. And I don't like it. I don't like those kind of games. It's the most boring
It's
format.
so boring.
Yeah. I like RTS games where you can like Age of Empires. I like that kind of game, but I don't like turn-based city building. It's just like it's gonna take 100 years for me to finish a match. So kind of waste of $2. But yeah.
At least it was $2.
Right.
Yeah, it was a steal for
I'd
someone who likes it.
say, yeah, I'd say like it has an audience. Like people play it. I think X has played it. I know John has played it. Um, there's a couple other people that I know that have delved into the Civilization franchise. My favorite thing, though, I've seen this so many times. My favorite thing about the Civilization games is that Gandhi, because of like a glitch in the early games, is like the most uh he's the most likely to like nuke you, which is hilarious because so there in the game there's like a system where it's like if you're a pacifist, your threat level is like set to 0 or something like that, or like as close to 0 as possible. Where Gandhi, he was a peaceful protester, right?
Right.
And they set him all the way to 0, but something along the way went wrong. Where in like Civilization 2, maybe it was the first Civilization, um where it glitched out and it set his threat level to like max, like 999 or 99 or whatever it was. And all of a sudden, as soon as you like are a threat to his civilization, he just nukes you.
Yeah, that's where I
Immediately, no
wanted to get
questions.
into it. Like, I wanted to be a conqueror and kind of go around the
Yeah,
board. Like, because the peaceful stuff, why would I play? It's boring.
right.
But I just eventually, after like an hour of playing, I was like, maybe one day when I'm really bored. But this shit's just making me want to go to sleep.
Right. And I always thought that was hilarious because a lot of YouTube channels have talked about it. A lot of gaming, platforms have talked about it. That's always just been really funny. I've known about that for a long time. And so what they've done is like, as the years have gone on, they've kind of like bought into that like meme. And so Gandhi is like the highest threat if you're like facing him or whatever in your game. I always thought that was really, really funny.
I like when developers like get in on jokes about their game. Like it reminds me of Ed Boon and the Mortal Kombat crew like adding Ermac as a character after the rumors of being able to unlock this red ninja or whatever, right? Like little things like that. It's nice to know that developers are really like paying attention to the community. And I mean, that's a super, super old example.
Or Noob Saibot. So you know
exactly.
You know the origins of Noob Saibot, right?
Mm-hmm. Wait,
Micah?
Remind me off the top.
Yeah, I know.
So Noob Saibot, his name is a play on words with the last names of the head developers. So Ed Boon, and I think his name is like Jonathan Tobias or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And so his name is just their last names backwards. Noob Saibot is Boon Tobias.
Okay, so that I actually did not know.
There's a bunch of different stories like that, like how creepers in Minecraft were supposed to be pigs, but they glitched out and stood up instead of just crawling. Or like or like the what is it called? The things in Halo Infinite, the bad guys. In the gameplay trailer, there was like a really bad image of one of them, and they named him Greg, and you can actually find his portrait.
It was Craig. Craig the
yeah.
What was his name?
They're a race. I don't remember.
Oh man, no.
But like he looks so bad, and they obviously fixed it by the end of the game. But they actually have that low polyed face on like a little picture portrait somewhere.
Yeah. So if you go on top of a tower, they have. So basically, Craig ended up in like canonically becoming a musician, and so you could go to like a bar and Craig would be playing at that bar, and they have like his album like posted up on top of a tower, and if you zoom in, it's like it has like all the names of the songs and everything. It's hilarious because like that's why they delayed it. Like people were like, "This looks like shit," and then there was a still frame of Craig's face, and they went back and made the game look better and whatnot. But at the same time, they were also like, "This is something to buy into," and lo and behold, people loved it.
And
I loved it.
It works.
When I found it, I was like, "No way!"
That's It's definitely a smaller version of like something like adding a whole character or something, right? But still, it's nice when devs can kind of like make fun of themselves a bit and kind of play into that.
Mm-hmm. It happens a lot more than we even like to admit. But that's what like differentiates the gaming community from a lot of other media. Because a lot of times, like you're not going to see like Scorsese putting in something where like, oh yeah, this is something that he does, so we're going to meme it, and then he adds it into a movie because the community found that funny. Like game developers are going to put their Easter eggs in to satisfy the community because at the end of the day, it's all about having fun.
It's a less serious art form.
It very much is, but at the same time, it's not. Like we take it seriously. Like a lot of people take it very seriously. But again, the whole concept of gaming is based on having fun and enjoying the games, enjoying the product, because you're not just watching something, you're not admiring something that someone else put up. You're also a part of that process, like as a gamer. And so in order to satisfy that gaming community, that franchise, that base of fans, that fan base is probably the better word to use.
Base of fans.
Base of fans. All your base of fans belong to us.
Exactly.
Sorry, I've had some wine, so I'm feeling it. But in order to satisfy that just thirst of like fun things, they make fun of themselves. And I love that. when developers don't buy into it, when they're like super serious, like a lot of times EA does not put in Easter eggs in their games. What they will do is reuse mechanics, but that's a discussion for another day or past days because we've talked about it a ton.
EA can always get slandered here.
Easy.
Every time.
Easy.
Every time.
At one point, we could have said the same for Nintendo, but you guys know the deal.
That's as like, well, I was going to say it's as business practice, but EA has their own.
I don't think just because this game dropped, Nintendo is completely.
No, we're not. No. Of course not.
They're not out of the water.
And honestly, even giving them like a little bit of a leave, like you guys get a week off, like fuck that. Fuck that. They suck in every other way. The developers of Zelda, I don't connect to Nintendo as a whole at all.
Yeah.
How is that possible?
Because they're just a publishing company. It's like if fucking the Assassin's Creed team or like the Far Cry team made a really good Far Cry, you wouldn't be like, Ubisoft is back. You'd be like, fuck Ubisoft. Far Cry did their shit. You know what I mean? And same with Nintendo. Nintendo's been dropping mid for like 3 years. And
who develops Zelda?
Nintendo. Like they have a smaller team, but I don't think we know the name.
Yeah, I've never heard.
That's not like Game part, bro.
Nintendo publishes it. Yeah,
they have like most developers waive their whatever rights. It's called like a something rights in their contract where like we made this, not you.
Yeah.
We made this. Like fuck that.
And I'm thinking how many main Nintendo franchises do you know that are just like, oh, Nintendo made this? Like Mario, obviously, right? Legend of Zelda. When you look at Kirby, you know that's HAL Labs or whatever. Pokemon is Game Freak. Does Metroid have like a
Pokemon? Is it still Game Freak?
Yeah, or is Game Freak under the Pokemon Company under Nintendo? Pokemon, I think. Don't quote me, but I'm pretty sure that's how it goes.
Okay.
I think they just give them a percentage of whatever profits they make through the games. I mean, not like everything else.
It's all about the money.
Of course.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
is anyone buying that Pokemon DLC?
Probably.
Aside from me?
Probably.
If it comes with the performance patch that they said it was going to come with, well, not that they said, but that was rumored to come with it, it's automatic for me.
It's gonna be like 2 new legendaries and like 100 new Pokemon, but it's gonna be the same fucking game.
And I'm still gonna play it. Shame on me, but it's gonna
shame
happen.
on you. Shame on me too.
Listen, I'm sorry. It's a bad habit.
Yeah, they're not getting more money out of me, respectfully. Especially now that like Nintendo's getting with the $70 wave. Fuck that. Even Jedi Survivor is $70.
Yeah, everything since the PS5 and the Xbox whatever launched has been $70.
They've recently upped the price on all new games.
70. Yeah.
Because the Kingdom is the first Nintendo.
Yeah, it's the first Nintendo game to touch 70.
Yeah. I ended up I think I bought Jedi Survivor for like 63.
You probably have Game Pass and EA.
I can't remember how I did it.
If you have Ultimate,
points saved up or something.
EA Play gives you a sale on the game.
That might have been it because I was looking at G2A.
At what?
It's a fucking illegal site. Anyways,
it's not illegal.
It's not illegal. It's a game code site. Like it's a workaround. It's a third party.
It uses like sponsored codes from publishers, but it just compiles all of them.
And individual sellers will sell it to you for like whatever. Shout out G2A because we're not.
Shout out G2A.
We're not sponsored by them, but that's.
Shout out G2A. Sponsor us.
You just said they're illegal.
They're not illegal.
It's not illegal, but it does seem shady when you do it for the first time.
Fuck that.
It's like scalping, kind of.
No,
not even close.
No, it's not that.
It's
literally
like
all it does is it like people through G2A will buy codes and like as if they're gonna play the game,
right?
But they don't activate the game.
We're not gonna sell G2A on our podcast.
Fuck it. Hey, I've gotten some quality games through them. I don't care. Fuck
This
it.
is the first I'm hearing
Sponsor
about
us,
this.
though.
This is why I'm confused.
Check it out. Yeah, no, check it out. And
you should check it out. It saves a lot of money.
yeah.
Oh, say less.
Anyways, my good game. Check that. Check. Bad game is gonna be my car battery not working at the end of last week. That sucked. And then I had to get State Farm to bring someone out and start my car, and that's great. So
Great game.
Yeah, cool experience.
it was a great game. It was a great game. It was a very bad game. My good game is going to be finally starting Tears of the Kingdom several days after you guys, because I was celebrating my lovely girlfriend Emmy's birthday. Happy birthday, Emmy. I love you. But anyways, we got games to talk about. So yeah. Tears of the Kingdom, man. That's my good game. But let's go ahead and talk about that. I know that you guys had an entire episode about it without me in lieu of my absence. And you know, going through that episode, editing it, it was a good episode. I think you guys did well.
Thanks, Dad.
You're welcome. I tried my darndest to not really listen to what you were saying, though. Because I wanted zero introduction, zero spoiler, nothing talking about that game. And that all compiled into my stream on our Twitch channel, which you can check right there. I don't know. It's look at it.
It's here.
Yeah, it's somewhere.
Put it right here.
That the first 4 hours were rough, and you guys saw.
God, I hated watching you play.
It was extremely
painful. And watching it back was very frustrating too, because it was quite literally, I don't know why is my house shaking? Anyways, it was quite literally one of like learning how to walk. That's how that stream went. It was very difficult just to like do the basic shit, but it's not because I haven't played Breath of the Wild. It's not because I haven't played games like that.
Could have fucking fooled me.
I know. I know. It was a hard watch, trust me. But that's what makes it more fun. But like if you noticed, like they changed a couple things when we were at Chris's last night, and he was like, help me get through this part, right? And when I was playing, I instinctively pressed up on the D-pad to use one of the abilities. Whereas in this game, you use the left, the top left button. You just use the L button.
Yeah, some of the buttons take some getting used to.
Right. And, sprinting and jumping wasn't changed, but you're not used to that after not playing with those controls after like 3.5 years or whatever, however long it's been for me. I know some people it's been almost 7 years. It's been 5 to 6 years, something like that. I just had a lot of trouble kind of jumping back into it. But after that, it's surpassing Breath of the Wild, in my opinion. In terms of just like the grand scale of it, the making the world feel alive, the immersiveness, the controls are just a little bit tighter once you get used to them. And this kind of brings me to my next point. Micah, last week you said that the building is probably your least favorite. Not that it's bad, but it's your least favorite aspect of the game so far. Let me ask you this before I dive into this. Do you still believe that?
That it's my least favorite part of the game?
Yes.
I would say yeah, but like not in the sense that I don't enjoy doing it sometimes.
What the fuck?
I just don't I don't find it entertaining in a Zelda to do that personally.
Do you feel like it's too like not off brand, but do you feel like it's kind of out of place?
No.
It's not that it's out of place, because it honestly it meshes well with what this Zelda's universe is doing, which is 10,000 years past all the other Zelda games, and there's futuristic technology, right? So it makes sense that you can make cars. Maybe it makes sense. Who cares? Like planes, stuff like that.
Right. Like, don't think
it doesn't. It's not that it doesn't fit. I feel like that argument is whatever. But I think that the way that it's incorporated into the gameplay, like the main quest lines, the shrines, some of the side quests, the guy with the sign everywhere, like there's moments where it clicks to me and I'm having fun with it. And then there's moments where I'm just like, God, I don't even want to touch it right now because it's just frustrating. And it honestly, at some times, it completely turns me away from the game. Like there's times where I'll be doing the quest and it'll be like, build this thing, get me like the Korok quest, for example. I don't even like those Korok quests where it's like, get me to my friend who's over there with the smoke thing.
I skip
those. I never do them. I never do them. You know why? Because it's 50 years away. And I'm like, I'm not building you something so that your fat ass can get over there. I'm just going to go do what I want to do. And
but also,
I agree.
Also, you don't even necessarily need to build something. Like you don't need to build things for a lot of them. You just pick them up and carry them.
But that's not what I said. I said I don't like the building. Like that's what it comes down. I get that I can do other ways to solve things, and I have.
That's going to take 20 fucking minutes.
Like I said last week, I parkoured to get past most of my shrines instead of building some mechanism, right? But that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is I don't enjoy the building. There's parts where I do, when I can do creative things like make my own car, make my own thing, house, whatever. But when the game is like actively making me create something and it's not working over and over, if it works the first time, great. If it doesn't, that's where I start to get frustrated.
I don't know. I think that like so you mentioned the shrines kind of forcing you to use the mechanics, especially with building, even more so early on.
Not always, it doesn't.
No, but I know. But I'm saying like you did mention that you don't like being forced to play the game how they wanted you to play it in terms of the building. I actually like it because there are a couple times where I didn't know that I could do this. I didn't know that I had this item to use, and this is teaching me to do that. Like for example, you just kind of without spoilers, you can make this certain device with these items, and it'll make it even better. And you learn that in the shrine, and then when you get out of the shrine, you're like, "Oh man, I can't wait to do this in the real world." And then you do, and it's like, "Hell yeah, dude, that's satisfying."
Yeah, that plays for the free form nature of the game.
Exactly, but I'm sure there are people that have gone away from the shrines and just discovered it on their own. When they get back to the shrine, they're like, "Oh, I already know this," but not everyone. That's the beauty of this game, is that there's such a variety in gameplay, and I think it's unfair to kind of demonize them showing, like basically forcing you to do that.
I'm not demonizing, and I've only said I just don't like it. Like that's just me. If everyone else in the whole world,
well, basically you're a piece of shit.
Yeah, okay? I'm a piece of shit because I don't like. I've played so many Zelda games. I played Link to the Past, Link's Awakening, Phantom Hourglass. All those games, they focus more on dungeon crawling, doing certain puzzles in like a specific type of way.
I have a feeling I'm gonna really disagree with you here, but go on.
Whatever. And then also like just the point. There's no like freeform nature with most Zelda games. And Breath of the Wild, it kept simplicity. That is what like my biggest thing with Zelda games are. Simplicity first, complexity at the very end. Whereas this game, this is the most complex Zelda game of all time. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but for me and what I look for in this franchise, Breath of the Wild still keeps, like, in terms of what I like about a Zelda, it's still trumping this game right now because it was just so simple. And I enjoyed how all the mechanics were simple, like the different abilities you had in that first game. I like that there was like a lot of landmass between cities and quests and shrines because it was simple. I had like one goal, whereas this one, there's so many, it's hard to keep track sometimes. And that's just how I like these types of games. If I want something more complex, I'll go play Skyrim. If I want something more complex, I'll go play Shadow of War. But usually when I'm playing a Zelda, I just want something very like straightforward or simple. I'm not saying that's bad for this game, but the building mechanic specifically is the exact opposite of simplicity.
Wait, hold on, Adam. I think
Breath of the Wild was not simple.
Yes,
it
was.
It is.
Yes, it is.
Just because you didn't fucking play it for long enough to know how to walk and run.
I played it for over 100 hours.
Okay, well, you forgot how to jump and shit. I don't know, but like.
Okay, well, that again, people are allowed to fucking forget shit when they're playing.
I get it. But I'm saying that game is simple, way more simple than this game, like far more simple, and it's not hard.
I think that you're not remembering how much complex shit there is in that game.
I do remember. I put 100% into it.
I understand that, but you're underplaying how complex of a game.
It's not that complex. Hold on, Adam. There are 4 major quests that you have to do. One major quest, and everything else is optional. Nothing else needs to be done. You can go straight to Ganon in that game. I don't think you realize like there isn't.
You can go straight to the chasm in this game,
but it's not the same. It's not the same at all.
It's not.
It's a little. Yes, I understand that.
It's not. There's too many things compared to.
This is not. Yeah, it's a sequel. This is what you wanted. This is what you want. You were literally like, I hope that they just don't make the same game, and they didn't. And now you're chastising the game for not being.
You keep thinking I'm chastising when all I've said, I don't like building.
No, but you've said more now. You said that it's. If I
said the first game is more simple.
Complex game, I would play a different game.
I said the first game is more simple, and that's what I like about Zelda. I like when I don't have to.
It's still simple in the sense of like the actual gameplay. If you
not
want to
really,
delve deep into, yes, it is.
You have to select materials for what type of fusing
you don't have to do the shrines. You don't have to build. You don't have to go to the sky.
Except for a couple.
Yeah,
to play this game, you have to build. There's just no doubt about it.
You really
are saying right now you don't have to build when the tutorial makes you fucking build.
Past the tutorial, yes, because it's introducing mechanics, because it's a sequel. It's
you don't have to do all that in the first one. That's all I'm saying. Is
because that wasn't a sequel.
Okay, I just don't enjoy the building. I'm not gonna like it at the end of the game, and I still don't like it now. It's fine. I don't hate it. I don't think you should not like it either, but I don't like it. Get over it. I don't like building. It's not good. The fucking grid shit pisses me off.
No.
The fucking like having to unattach things and it all falls apart. It's trash for me. Like I don't enjoy it.
No.
And it actively makes me not want to do quests when I have to build. I just don't want to do it.
You're wrong.
Can I interject?
No. Yes.
Micah, I see what you're saying about Breath of the Wild being simple. It was Breath of the Wild, it was as complex as you wanted it to be. But when I think back to my playthrough of that game, it was a lot of just walking around and climbing. And I was super content with it. I was super content.
Now relaxing.
In this game, yes. Now in this game, you can still do that, but they offer you so many avenues to shortcut gameplay. You don't have to climb everything if you don't want to. You can ascend through shit. There's little tricks and stuff that I did learn through the shrines that I was able to utilize outside in the open world where I'm like, oh, okay, this is cool, right? But when it comes to the help the Korok get to his friends and like it seems forced, right?
And every 10 meters, there's a dude who needs his help getting the fucking sign up.
I'm just trying to find the simplest way to do that, like with the least amount of wood possible. Like now it's a game because now it makes me mad when I see the sign guy just standing there, and I'm just like,
that can be fun. Like just trying to speed run a build. I'm not saying that the building outright shouldn't be added, and never have I said that other people can't like it. I think it's fine, but I don't enjoy when it's like every single quest has a building thing. most times it's fun. Like when I made a boat for some dude and I had to get him across a river, I was like, this is cool. It worked the first time. It doesn't frustrate me. But when I've done like a build 3 times and it still won't finish the quest, I get over it. And it makes me want to turn off the game. Whereas Breath of the Wild, I never felt that. I not once in Breath of the Wild got so frustrated with one mechanic or any of it, maybe a shrine at most. And then I would just leave the shrine. But like,
not once during the Divine Beasts.
I love the Divine Beasts.
There were times.
No, not for me. I love the Divine Beast. I love everything about Breath of the Wild. I didn't 100% it for no reason. So like this one, I'm having a hard time even thinking I'm going to do that because I don't enjoy every mechanic. I don't enjoy building it much.
Some would say skill issue.
Probably,
Good,
yeah. I might suck at building. That's fine.
Good.
But like if that's what, considers me a hater just because I don't like it, then sure, I guess I'm a hater. But I'm not saying you guys can't like it. I'm not saying it's not a good mechanic. I'm just saying I don't like the building. It's not that fun for me. You know what I do like about this game? I like the combat, which hasn't changed that much, but it has a little bit. You can fuse bombs and shit onto your shield. I like that you can kind of add some durability to your weapons. I like the new armor sets and some of the stuff I've seen, even though I've got it spoiled.
That wasn't an armor set. That was just a head.
I know. I didn't know that one was in here though. So I'm assuming, who you got it from, and I know who you got it from.
But I don't remember where I got it. I just got it.
Then it's not who I thought.
Also, in that picture that I sent to the group chat, I was literally only focusing on the longest fucking thing I've ever made. And I forgot that, first of all, okay, I guess this is a spoiler, but what I'm wearing on my head so far is a bokoblin, like a hat, basically. It's like, it wraps around your face.
It's in the first game. It's not like
and it has, but some people don't know. It has the ears. And anytime when you're wearing it, if you're going idle, Link will automatically just like hunch down as if he's trying to like blend in with a bunch of hobgoblins or whatever.
Did you get those in the first game ever?
I never saw that in the first game.
You never went to the night shop dude who would sell you Dark Link armor and the fucking all the different heads. You can get past Lionel's and you can like take pictures with Lionel's and shit if you have the Lionel head on.
This is the first time.
Wow. Okay.
Is it Mokoblin? Is it
Moblin, Bokoblin, and Lizaflos are the monsters.
Moblins
I keep on saying Hokoblin. Yeah, Moblins.
There's new ones too, but I don't know what they know. But
those are Horriblins.
Yeah, the ones that hang from the caves and shit.
The proboscis monkeys.
But I don't want to fucking talk about the building anymore because like as much as I don't like that, it's whatever.
Let's move on.
One thing I don't
get to this game for years.
I kind of had to stop playing this week because I was feeling a little burnt out by the quests in Kakariko Village, which are basically like how do I put this? They're like researcher quests, but you have to go like around reading books and reporting back to researchers. And then the village quest line, because like I've been going from village to village trying to do as many quests as I can at once. I got burnt out. I had to stop playing for a few days because I was getting super bored by those quest lines. And I realized like I get what they're doing with this one. Like the quests here are not like just go collect 50 things and bring it back to me, right? They're like more involved. But I don't find the narrative of some of them interesting enough to like warrant me doing them. And I didn't feel that way in Breath of the Wild either. I always thought the side quests were boring. I waited until the very end to do them. Same. But this game, you can tell that they tried a little bit more, like with some of the Pura quests and whatever. But overall, I shouldn't have played Skyrim before this game because the writing in that game is impeccable. And this one, the writing is just, it's a kid's game. So like, I'm not interested at all.
Why is my camera shaking? What the fuck? I hate when this house shakes because someone's driving by. What the fuck? Anyways, the thing with Skyrim is that everything is voice acted.
That too. Yeah.
Everything is voice acted. And
so when I have to hear "who" and then like text,
Yeah.
it makes me. I'm not saying it's bad because I like the first game, but it makes me less invested for sure.
When a Goron goes, "Oh," and there's 4 slides of text that you have to just read through.
I'm bored. Yeah,
It does get repetitive.
I think they should have done voice acting here, man. I don't know why we accept that JRPG, not just JRPGs, but like Japanese games are totally immune from like what we consider okay in Western audience. Like voice acting is a must in this day and age. We're past the ages of reading scrolls and scrolls of text. It's a handheld game, so it kind of gets away with it. But after this one, no more. I'm done.
Yeah.
If you're going to do voice acting at all, go all the way. I don't like how they switch from voice acted cutscene right to text-based conversation.
Yeah,
it throws me the fuck off.
It is kind of jarring.
And it's always the cutscenes have like 2 voice acted lines. Hey, Link, and then text speech.
Yeah.
I'm like, what is that?
But then it fades to black.
Like something's gonna happen.
And then the character is literally just standing there like.
And then Link is, it doesn't.
Fucking like 10 seconds.
It doesn't invest me in the story. So as good as this story is compared to the first one, I'm not as invested as I wanted to be. But that's fine because the rest of the game, if you can take yourself away from that and just enjoy it, it's good. But I have had a hard time this week playing it because I just got a little burnt out. But I think this upcoming week I'll have more time and I can play it and like do more temples and shit like that.
I agree. Tears of the Kingdom gets a 9 out of 10 from PixelHate.
Speak for yourselves. What?
9 out of 10.
I'm not going to argue with that.
4 out of 10.
We haven't beaten the game.
We've played enough.
Let
me not say that. Let me not
speak for yourselves. Man.
I haven't played enough because I did just do and I don't want to stay on this forever, but I did do the missions that you're talking about and the Hateno Village missions. That's when I said I was in a political conspiracy, and you guys will see what I mean when you get there. And it was fun. It was interesting, but also I was like, damn, I feel like this isn't really furthering anything important. I'm just kind of doing it so I can gain access to,
and it doesn't give you much either.
Thing. I wouldn't say it doesn't give you much, but
it doesn't
give me enough relating to how much time I spent doing it.
But it feels like it just compared to, and I know you shouldn't do this, but compared to most open world games, some of the rewards are a little lackluster.
That's fair.
But I also want to say, like, and we can get off this, for y'all, this game is probably incredible because it feels like an extension of what you were doing in Breath of the Wild already, but you didn't ever go. You just told me you didn't even get to the monster selling dude, which was a huge part of that game. You gave him all your monster parts.
Oh, sorry. I do know what you're talking about. The guy that travels. He's really ugly.
Okay.
So, yes. Never mind.
There's a bunch of stuff like that in Breath of the Wild, which I completely took advantage of. After 400 hours of the first game, this game is what I wanted several years ago. But now I feel like because I have so much memory of playing that first game and so many so much time devoted to it, when I do play this one, I just feel like I'm playing the first one again a lot. And I still feel that burnout from a few years ago, it sucks for me personally. I wish I had done what you guys did, like just put 100 hours or 60 hours in it, beat it. One of my friends, he only put 60 hours in the first game. He loves this one. He's been playing it so much. And it's just like, I know for a fact that because I played that one to 100% completion, this one doesn't wow me as much as I think it should have.
I actually want to check and see how many hours I put into
it. It makes me sad because like I would have been like Adam, because Adam, he forgot a lot of mechanics. He forgot a lot of basic shit about the first
so
game.
It almost feels fresh.
So this feels completely new. But as soon as I got back in this, it was like, oh, I'm right back where I was.
Yeah.
And
I put 100 hours into Breath of the Wild. Yeah.
Yeah.
Pausing the game for a quick second. We hope you're enjoying PixelHate so far. Please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe wherever you're hearing or watching this. Check out the Twitch channel at twitch.tv/pixelate_. You can find the link tree in the description below for links to all of our stuff. And of course, share the show with friends and family alike. Alright, back to the show.
enough of this Tears of the Kingdom nonsense. We can get into that for years and years on end. But what Micah said did bring up like a great, brought up a great concept. We wanted to talk about moments in games that we love that pretty much should have or could have been left on the cutting room floor. So for me personally, the first thing that I think of, the Mary Jane segments in the Spider-Man games.
God.
So hear me out, right? Spider-Man, for me, the joy of that game is swinging, fuck doing the missions, right? Just swinging through Manhattan is probably one of the greatest experiences I've ever had in my life. But the transition from doing that to doing the slow, methodical stealth missions, I hate them. And I feel bad for disliking it because, I mean, you know, they throw it in for a break from the action and narratively it makes sense and what have you. But honestly, I didn't play this superhero game to play as this muggle. Like, I don't want to.
Even as like playing as Miles in that game.
Yeah, it's the same shit. And I don't really like this. Could have been a cutscene. It could have been a super long cutscene and I'd be perfectly okay with it. I didn't have to play this because you can't like escape it. Like, you have to do it.
The story of that game is one of the reasons I never beat it, because I just got bored.
It's not Mary Jane Simulator. It's fucking Spider-Man. I
Yeah.
want to play as Spider-Man.
And nobody but. Like, unless they have powers too. I don't want to do Peter Parker shit. Like, make that a cutscene. This is an action game. It doesn't need these stealth elements. It doesn't need, and I feel like they don't add to it at all. But that's just me. And I'm pretty sure, does the Miles Morales, I don't know if do we call it a sequel? Or is it?
No,
it's a standalone expansion.
Chris would stand on this hill.
It's a 4-hour DLC that costs $60.
Loud and proud. Yeah, okay. Chris would be like, it's a standalone title. I was like, no, it's not.
Because I mean, you can buy it separately, yes?
Yeah.
But it's not like it's a DLC. Like, it's a DLC that they shipped off for like $40.
It's insane.
And people are like, oh yeah, this is another game. No, it's not. It's not.
The best PS5 exclusive.
How can you say that is a standalone title?
Well, my point was, well, have either of you played it?
Miles Morales, no.
Because I was wondering, I would hope that because it's a DLC, like you said, they wouldn't add any of those stealth elements, but I didn't play it, so I'm not sure if that's
I watched it on YouTube.
Like the whole game?
Someone could be like, what's the difference between Tears of the Kingdom and Miles Morales?
If anyone were to say that, I'd shoot them.
I will be bombing your house within 5 years.
Doxed.
That what's the difference sounded so Patrick like from SpongeBob. Like,
what's the difference?
That was so good.
One of the most like standout ones that I'm thinking of is in Final Fantasy 15. I think it was chapter 11, maybe something like that, where instead of running around with your boys driving, fucking shit up, you're stuck in this stealth section. And it's weird how it's always a stealth section, right? You're stuck in this stealth section where you have a ring. And the ring, if you aim it at an enemy and you like attack the enemy, they like disintegrate, which is like fine. It's in its own right. But you don't use that ring before or after this chapter. And the chapter itself just slows down the game entirely. And it makes everything a whole lot more like, you're not in the mood to play a Splinter Cell game when you're playing a Final Fantasy game for, at that point, 30 hours or something like that. And it just ruins the entire flow of the game. There were other things that people didn't like, but that was the one thing that everyone pretty much universally hated. And after the fact, Square Enix went in and updated the game, where if you got to that section, it gives you the option to skip that entire portion, because because of the hate that it got, basically because of how slow it is. It changes. It literally says, hey, by the way, this section isn't like all the others. Do you want to play it? Yes or no? And you click no, and guess what? You're back into the world that you were already in, and then comes the time skip and et cetera, et cetera. But you skip the entire part of the game just because of how bad it was.
And that's dumb because as a developer, right, if you know that this is the genre of game that you're going for and pacing is important, why on earth would you cut it out so drastically and make it unskippable? Because it's just it like you said, it ruins the flow and it just kind of it's a very forgettable aspect of the game. And if it is memorable, it's not for good reason.
Mhm.
When we talk about like things screwing the pacing up, I also wanted to bring up the Kingdom Hearts 2 boss battle. I believe the Organization 13 member's name is Demix. He's the one with the guitar. And when he gets to the dance water dance and you have like 15 or 20 seconds to defeat this many things or else you fuck up the whole boss battle. And if you're not prepared for that, like I assume nobody was,
Yeah.
like it seems so unfair and just out of nowhere, and it just kind of screws the player out of the shit. It's probably the most memorable boss battle from that game because of the tremendous spike in difficulty just out of nowhere. And it's like little things like that I just don't understand, like where does the idea come from? Like who asked for this?
I was also thinking about the in the first Kingdom Hearts, when you're in the Little Mermaid section
Oh my
and it
god.
becomes a rhythm game.
It's trash.
That was absolutely unbearable moment in gaming.
It's trash. Oh, I think that's how it is in Kingdom Hearts 2, right? Because Kingdom Hearts 2, they took away, like, you can't even walk around in Atlantica anymore. It's just mini games.
Pretty much, yeah, I believe so. Like they took that and ran with it.
And it's just like it I just don't understand why you would want to not ruin, but what are we gaining from this particular aspect of the game? Like, and I know, I mean, I want to stick with Kingdom Hearts just because there's a lot of egregious examples of this. The entire part of Arendelle where they just play the entire Frozen scene and with zero context. I've never seen Frozen, right? I've never seen that movie. So I didn't know what was happening. Obviously, I know the song, right? But even at the end, Sora says, "Hey, I don't know what that was, but it was awesome." It was not, because it was pointless. And it seems so corporate shill. And I'm just like, nobody gained anything from this. If you didn't already watch Frozen, you don't know what the hell is happening because there's almost zero context to even Elsa being around, right? And if you have seen Frozen, it's just, oh, you're just seeing it again, but here's Sora, Donald, and Goofy just kind of off to the side watching.
Mm-hmm. I forgot about that.
Good.
I spent so much time in the Frozen world too.
It's hard, but it's hard because it's a maze. There's literally no narrative value of that world whatsoever.
None at all.
Zero.
Micah, what do you got?
My go-to answer, even though I don't feel like it's as bad as what you guys have pointed out already, is in the Arkham games having to do the Riddler trophies and the
yeah,
slash the detective investigations. In some of the games, it can be good, like some of the, especially Arkham City. I think that one nailed it best. But in Arkham Knight and in Origins, some of the investigation parts and some of the Riddler trophy parts kind of blow, especially in Arkham Knight. And it definitely like completely halts the pacing of the game. And it was definitely my least favorite part of those games. I feel like that's not a great answer though, because like that's still not like terrible part of a great game, you know.
But I actually, so are you talking in Arkham Knight specifically?
Just the whole series.
In general, okay. So in Arkham Knight, I think I got all the Riddler trophies in that one. I didn't get all of them in Arkham City, unless I had that backwards. But in one of them, I think it was Arkham Knight. I'm pretty sure I like 100% of that game. And there were some Riddler trophies where I spent an hour alone, like on like one puzzle. Luckily, I waited until the end to do that. But had I done it like mid story, like mid while I'm like just going about, and I did obviously as you're playing, some are easier, so you just do them. But like the harder ones, I like just kind of devoted towards end game content. And they weren't fun then. So I can only imagine if you're trying to get through the story and you in the back of your mind are like, I still have to fucking do this. Oh my God.
Right, like there should never be moments where I'm dreading something, and not because it's difficult.
I actually do have one
fun.
That's more recent for me. In DBZ Kakarot, you have to. It's open world, so like there's a lot of like side activities in the Dragon Ball world, like driving around, like creating machines of Bulma and stuff. That stuff is fun. Like there's races and stuff. But then there's a fishing mini game where like it's just you put your Saiyan tail, like your prop tail, in the water, and then you yank it out when it takes a bite. And there's nothing more to it than that. And that is like, I want to say like 25 of the side quests / missions in that game of like 100 quests. Dude, by the end of the game, when they were still giving me fishing missions, and it's just one button, it's not like you're moving the tail around. You can wag it to like get their attention, but that's it. Like there's nothing more to that game. And that is
a
like
child could do it.
It's supposed to be like simple, but it's not fun. And there's times where it's like, catch this specific fish, and it takes like 30 minutes to get a fucking golden fish or something. I'm like, this is not the game I came here to do this for.
Exactly.
I'm playing DBZ Kakarot. I'm here to fuck shit up, not fucking fish for. It's like some developers don't realize that some mechanics don't need to be the main focus. Like it can be a side thing. I'm glad fishing's there, but why the fuck are half your quests fishing?
That's what I'm saying. Like I'm all for variety, but make it make sense.
Or just fun and interesting. If it had more going on, I'd be interested, but it was just trash. It was just boring garbage. And if you want to 100% that game, which I think one day I will, because I like that game a lot, but man, you have to like slog through. I'll have to have like a podcast on or something. I do it. I'm gonna be bored as shit.
And just
but I can't really think of like in great games, a specific.
I'd say another one was Crash Team Racing, and we've talked about this before on the show. Just how good of a game it is. You know, does it trump Mario Kart?
Oh my God, blah, blah. I know what you're talking about.
But Oxide in that game, the final boss, is the most bullshit, unfair, fucking why is this program the way it is, boss, that I have experienced in a long time.
Like no rubber banding, just ridiculous speed boost.
Just
you have to be perfect to even get close.
Throws out every item. We're talking TNT boxes, we're talking potions, we're talking bombs, we're talking rockets, all of the above. You have to be a professional Crash Team Racing player in order to beat that.
To that same token, that game, I feel like, and it takes a lot from Diddy Kong Racing. I feel like they artificially extend the gameplay by making you have to redo those races and like, oh, now do this race again, but you have to win and you have to collect these 3 things, or you have to collect these rings, or you have to do that. And like they can be fun, but I hate that that's like a requirement for completion, because it's like, now I have to go off the beaten path to go and find where these little letters or whatever it is. I have to find them, and I have to like develop like a line where I can do it and not be so out of the race by the time I get it. And like it's not that it's not fun, it's strategic, but I feel like when I have to do that for every single racetrack, it kind of like I kind of just want to race. I want to.
I'm of the opinion that party games like that, like Mario Party, kart racers, any golf game, sports game, whatever, they shouldn't have campaigns, and they shouldn't have objective based modes unless it's like challenge modes, right? Where it's like, because like everything for a casual player, those games are the most casual games on the market. You don't get more casual than that. Locking characters and shit like that behind. I'm not saying, okay, let me rephrase. You can have a campaign, but when you have to beat the campaign to like unlock majority of the shit in the game, that's where you lose me. Let me unlock things by just playing the game in that type of game. Like,
that's fair.
Mario Kart.
There's no
DS
reason that Crash
did a
Team
great
Racing should
challenge
lock
mode.
half of its roster behind a campaign. It's just not fair. It's like half the player base won't ever experience most of the game now because most people aren't touching that fucking campaign. It's a kart game. You think I give a shit? And I'm not saying like we don't, but most people, the casual market's just getting a kart game to play as the different characters. They're not getting it to experience a objective based challenging kart game. Like, no. Same with Mario Party and shit. When they're like, play through all the stages and get 3 stars, and then you can unlock Bowser at the very end of the game. It's like, bro, I'm never getting there. Just give me the character. I'm not getting to that point. I'm not obsessed with your game. When it comes to party games, I don't think there should be like something like that.
Because the game itself is enough that it's gonna outlive. Like you only ever need to play a campaign of like that kind of game once.
That's the type of shit that'll make you burn out on a party game.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Mario Party shouldn't have a campaign at all. Like there
No.
shouldn't even be a single player mode, you fucking loser. Why do you have that game?
No.
I'm not even trying to be funny, but like
Get a life.
no, get some friends.
Yeah. Play online. Fuck.
But to that challenge mode point, Mario Kart DS had a really great challenge mode that was separate from Grand Prix, and it was actually like unique. Like they had boss battles and like it was just a lot of fun, and there's a lot of variety in it, and they never brought it back in any other installment, nor had they ever had it before. But that mode alone kind of puts Mario Kart DS really high on the list. If you want to talk about all of them and just kart racers in general. And I just wish more games had like the sense to do that and not, they don't have to overstay their welcome. Because like you didn't have to do it, but because they were so fun and challenging in a good way, it made me want to. So I never had an issue with it. But with Diddy Kong Racing and with Crash Team, it's too much. And it's not fun.
Yeah. Usually those modes don't like enrich the gameplay at all. It just prolongs it, which isn't for me.
Exactly. Prolonging versus enriching is
Like the fact that
huge
MK8
difference.
Deluxe requires you to play as many games as it does just to unlock everything. I'm like, bro.
And-
Speaking of fighting games, the last one I wanted to mention before we get to our next topic, which is about fighting games.
Wait. When you said MK8, are you talking about Mortal Kombat or Mario Kart?
MK as in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe.
Okay.
Never mind.
Right. I was gonna say I think we're
It's not a
think that
party
was-
game.
that-
I heard
that was-
MK8 and just focused on that.
Hey,
But
hold on. Let's pretend that he was talking about Mario Kart. I mean, fuck. About Mortal Kombat and just go from there.
the last one I wanted to mention, Tekken 6, Azazel.
Oh my god. It's a stupid boss fight.
Awesome. Just awesomely bad.
It's worse than Jinpachi.
Jinpachi was bad, but
Wait,
Azazel,
is it worse than Jinpachi?
Jinpachi might be the worst.
Jinpachi was Tekken 5, right?
Yes. I didn't have
Dude.
Tekken 5, so I only played that a handful of times, but
Tell you what, I'm changing this one to Jinpachi.
okay.
Yeah, Jinpachi was the worst.
In canon, he's supposed to be or something.
Yeah,
I mean,
well, he's
sure, but like
he's OP as fuck. But Why?
I
Why
thought
does he
his
have a
design was so whack in that game?
Why does he have a giant
Oh, you're
mouth?
tripping. He looks cool as fuck.
With the big
why does
mouth
giant
in his
mouth
stomach? I
on
don't
his
know.
stomach that doesn't show up in Tekken Tag 2.
The
Yeah, I don't know
mouth-
why they changed that.
The
design.
mouth in his stomach was really dumb. I thought that was dumb. I love his design overall, but the mouth on his stomach was really stupid.
Yeah, it was a little much.
So, speaking of fighting games, are we entering the golden age of fighting games?
Smash Bros.
Because-
Already released. What are you talking about?
We got
Right.
Yeah, that doesn't count. We got Tekken 8, we got Street Fighter 6, and now we have the very recently announced Mortal Kombat 1.
You're missing one. Budokai Tenkaichi 4?
Tenkaichi 4 also.
That's more of a. That's not like a.
That's up there.
Yes,
That's up there.
Yes, but for a different reason.
People are very hype about that too, with the inclusion to these games. Like I've seen it. People are saying the Big Four are back.
Calling Budokai Tenkaichi part of a Big Four of fighting games is egregious. Please cut that out. Because
I'm telling you, go check Twitter.
No,
like,
I'm hip. I know, but that's like a super casual. I don't think there's a competitive scene for Tenkaichi, and if there is,
there will be now. There will be.
Maybe, but
there's a competitive scene for Fighter Z. There will be.
That's different because that game is at least balanced to an extent. Tenkaichi is supposed to be like off balance.
But Xenoverse is comp too.
Not gonna.
Xenoverse is also comp, which is a broken game.
Yeah, so I mean, it depends on what the mindset is for the developers. Like if they wanted to make it more than just a casual,
regardless of balance, though. Shit. Regardless of balance.
Oh, are people excited? Yes,
it's a Big Four. It's a Big Four.
I'm impressed.
Yeah,
and I'm just. It's amazing to me that all of these games are coming out within the same window. We can honestly expect all of these games within the next year and a half. And I say year and a half because we don't know when Tekken 8 is coming out.
I'd say by the end of next year. No,
we also
that would be a year and a half.
Yeah.
We also don't know when Jumpstar's Ultimax is dropping.
I also don't know if that's real. I sent that, but it looked. I've seen the leaks. I don't believe everything on the internet anymore. I'm not sure.
I think that is on its way.
I think that's gonna be bad. If you guys remember Jump Force, that shit was trash.
They can't make that same mistake twice.
They can. Anime games have been on a long streak of being ass for like a decade.
Oh, and we'll get to that next week. The anime game thing. But man, Jump Force was such a missed opportunity.
Dude, fuck Jump Force. I don't
even want to talk about it.
These actual good games.
We're talking about real shit. It's a lot of reimaginings, a lot of not reboots, but like all the games that are being announced in the fighting game genre are coming with like a whole new style. Tekken 8 looks amazing. The character models look fantastic. Street Fighter is taking an entirely new art direction. Mortal Kombat 1 is kind of retooling the story in a sense. And I mean, for it to be Mortal Kombat 1 is a whole new, reboot. And it's so exciting. And not even just as a casual fan, but liking watching competition. Like Evo this year is well, I guess Evo next year because Mortal Kombat comes out in September, but Evo next year is going to be all fresh games. It's going to be all fresh games.
Evo is going to be wild.
And that's so
this new Mortal Kombat, it's a remake of the first game, yeah.
I don't know if it's a remake or if it's like a
remake.
reboot of the series.
It's something new. That's what it's not going to be MK11 or MK12. I mean,
yeah, this is MK1. This is what would have been MK12.
And Street Fighter 6 completely feels like a new game. It doesn't feel like a Street Fighter to me. It doesn't even look like one. It looks like a Street Fighter, but it looks like a totally new type of Street Fighter, if that makes sense.
Yes.
And then Tekken, I mean, it looks like Tekken. I'm not gonna lie, but it looks like a really good Tekken.
I think unfortunately, because Tekken 8 is who has that on the roster for fantasy?
Jamal.
Is it Jamal?
It is. Because it
Well,
doesn't have a release date. Anything that doesn't have a release date is Jamal.
That's Jamal's. Yeah, that's fair. I think that Tekken 8 might take the highest rating.
Hold on, I just want to make this point though, that these 3 games, we'll cut Dragon Ball out for now. The way that they're looking, it's like they kind of realized we were getting tired of, specifically Mortal Kombat has gotten stale over the years. I know people hype Mortal Kombat, but personally, MK11 didn't impress me that much.
Yeah, it wasn't that big of a step.
Tekken 7,
MK10 really like changed what a lot of fighting games were going for. MK11 just kind of like
did more of the same.
It looks amazing.
Tekken 7, I know you guys like that game. I couldn't get into it as much as Tekken Tag, no matter what I did.
No, Tekken 7 didn't really.
Even Tekken 6, I thought was a little better. It was just more interesting. And then Street Fighter.
Crazy. Tekken 6 better 2. Than 7 is crazy.
I'm not saying it. Well, like in terms of interest, I was just more interested in Tekken 6 than I was 7.
Tag 2 is
that's
still
different
because
that was a next gen,
Yeah.
So
and then
in that case,
also Street Fighter. We haven't seen a Street Fighter game in forever. Or like not forever. It's been like 2015, I think. But like it's been a while, and their market has pretty much diminished until this new game came out.
Street Fighter 4 looked better than Street Fighter 5.
Yes.
Yeah. And this new one looks totally different.
It looks amazing.
So it's so amazing.
We're seeing these 3 games kind of they're
getting their groove,
revolutionize themselves, and it's interesting because it's not like they're pushing next gen or anything. I think it's kind of hard to do that with fighting games, right? But the way Tekken 8 looks, the way Street Fighter looks, we haven't seen Mortal Kombat yet, but the way the games just look alone, it definitely feels like we're in a different era of fighting games for sure. And I think fighting games in particular, because all these new ones are coming out, we're going to see them kind of become more of the mainstream. Like I think this Street Fighter release is one of the most popular fighting game. I've never seen a fighting game talked about as much as this Street Fighter 6, other than Smash, right? But like Street Fighter 6, the hype is real with the market right now. It might outsell Tekken, at least in the States.
I think they're doing all the right things.
And it's Capcom too, so it's like, of course they're going to get their bunny up, I just think that it's incredible that we're seeing like these, what I thought were pretty much dead franchises other than Mortal Kombat, like kind of, because Tekken, I know we like Tekken, but most people I talk to Tekken about, they're like, I don't fucking play that shit.
I feel like Tekken has a
niche
high
market.
Barrier of entry
but even that one is getting a bunch of hype right now from people that don't play it. People are like, ooh, maybe I'll pick up this Tekken. Looks, because that Kazuya versus Jin fight that they showed,
it looks so
nuts.
Good. Yeah,
absolutely insane. It's fucking epic as shit.
I have something to ask. I've been seeing people say that they're kind of falling out of favor with Mortal Kombat because of the violence. People are saying that
I don't agree with that.
Right. But people are saying, oh, it's starting to look too realistic. It's turning people off from the game, which I feel like is such a strange thing to say, knowing what Mortal Kombat has been since the jump. Like it's always been about this over the top brutality, right? And
that has to be a small minority, though.
I would hope so, but like I've been seeing it more and more where people are like, "Oh, it's starting to look too real," and I'm like, "No, it doesn't." Because if you watch that trailer, I mean, this is classic spine ripping. Like, yeah, it sounds weird to say it, but this is what it is. This is what the game has always been.
The thing is, Street Fighter and Tekken are going to have a hard time selling against each other because they have a very not like in terms of gameplay, but in terms of just like from a surface level, their games are very similar. There's no blood, not a lot of violence, and it's just combo heavy games. Mortal Kombat has fatalities and brutalities and a lot of gore. That's their market, and no matter what, they can always compete against other fighting games. If they took that out, Mortal Kombat would have nothing.
Nothing.
It would just have its characters, which honestly, their character designs are terrible compared to Tekken and Street Fighter. So, because they're just bland. But their violence makes it like super amped up.
But the thing that they do have is the customization, though.
That too, but that came into more recent entries. Like in history, Mortal Kombat has always had the edge because of the violent stuff.
Historically, for sure.
They were just palette swaps up until fucking...
And that's what people know them for. Whereas Street Fighter and Tekken, you kind of just know them as the hardcore fighting games. Mortal Kombat, you know for the gore, really. I know some people might disagree with that, like the MK vets, but look, deep down, an MK player is getting washed by a good Tekken player. It's just the end of the day. Like the combos are totally different, and like the skill required is totally different.
Agreed.
That argument's crazy to me. They're never doing that. They're never toning it down. It's only going to get worse. So just get out while you can.
And I feel like they shouldn't even ever add like a...
You can have a mode for sure. You can have like a turn off mode, but
sure.
Some people get triggered by stuff, so I get it.
And why are you buying Mortal Kombat?
I don't fuck. Why do these people play these games?
Mortal Kombat. Historically, why? Yeah, like why are you trash? If you don't like the realistic depiction of, don't buy GTA. I can't imagine people buying the game and thinking, this I don't like the way he ripped his eyeballs out of his head. It's too realistic. No, the fuck it's not. Like, I don't know. I don't know, man.
Yeah. And just like we don't know why these people buy these games and then complain that they're too violent. I don't know how to close it on that, actually. Yeah. Anyways, I appreciate everybody for watching. This has been the PixelHate podcast. You know, we're all very happy with the recent game announcements and releases. This has been Adam, Wope, and Micah. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. Really appreciate everybody watching. Make sure you check out our social media, PixelHate on TikTok, PixelHate on YouTube. If you are watching on YouTube, please leave a like and subscribe. It would mean a lot to us. And we also have an Instagram, PixelHate, and Twitter. What's our Twitter?
PixelHate _
Yep.
Same thing. All right. We got to get off the game. We love you guys. And we will see you guys in the next episode. Take it easy. Peace.